Hi everyone. Today we are making an old family favourite of mine for Christmas, actually for any time of the year, but a treat. And I have, as per, spiced it up a little with our Mrs. Rogers Herbs and Spices. So this is my Auntie Anne's bubble log, and I am making it Christmassy with some hopefully coloured coconut. Well, the coconut's coloured, whether it works in the slice or not, I'm not sure. But it will be nice and gingerbready flavours and spicy. So here it is here. It's a little bit like those rice bubble bars. And I'm not going to eat one because I'm trying to be sugar-free at the moment. And if I take a... Oh, so good. If I take a bite of that, I'm going to eat the whole thing and then it will all be stuck to my teeth and then I won't be able to show you how to make it. So,
Jody says sweet.
It is very sweet. So listen.
Good on you, Jody.
We're having a few technical difficulties today. So if you are joining us again, thanks for putting up with us. I am going to have a different sort of bubble tonight. It might be more of a liquid form after today's aftermath. But listen, red coconut. Now, what I've done is I've actually used some red food colouring. I don't even know where I got this one from, but it's a gel food colouring, and I'm going to make green. I really like this one. Gel food colouring is great. You can't use that watery, runny, rubbishy food colouring in this because it can't get wet, whereas gel is not wet. So a couple of drops in there. And you could get the kids to help you do this, and like if you give them a snap lock bag or one of those bags and they can mush it around with their fingers. So you can also, this is a trick for party players, this is how you make coloured sugar. So you actually just want to literally mush the food colouring and the coconut together, or the sugar together, and then if you want to put it on your, you can just wet the top of your cup and dip it in your coloured sugar for your martinis, or just to make it look pretty. Actually, you can use it on mocktails and all that sort of stuff. So anyway, without too much pushing and pushing and pushing, you want to get that mixed in as much as you can. It's not ever going to look completely mixed because it's a gel, not a wet form. So yeah, anyway, that's my hopefully successful party trick. Now to make the syrup, which is going to bind everything together. So I've got half a cup of brown sugar. You could use white sugar or another sort of sugar, but brown sugar gives it that really nice caramelly texture. And I haven't packed that as such. I've just, like when I measured it, I just sort of banged it down to make sure it was half a cup. Got 125 grams of butter. Please use butter. Don't use margarine or anything like that because it just doesn't taste the same. And the butter actually gives it that really yummy, caramelly, honeyish type flavour that we want. Now, speaking of honeyish, I have got 2 tablespoons of honey. Now, if you don't like honey or your kids don't like honey, you could use golden syrup or even treacle. However, the honey does give it that special flavour. Make sure you get all of that out. Not wasters here. Now, for our Mrs. Rogers excitement. My kids love gingerbread men, and as I said, I'm not making this for me, although I might have some. I'm making it for my kids because they love those bubble bars, and I'd rather do it something Christmassy and special, and also there's all this no preservatives, all that kind of thing, so it's a really nice thing to do. So I've got a teaspoon of Mrs. Rogers ground ginger. I love ginger. And 1/4 teaspoon of...
Jeremy wants to know where the mistletoe is. Well done, Jeremy. I have to get some out.
Yeah. Actually, there's an app on your phone that you can have mistletoe. I saw that. I haven't got it, but I saw that. So you can
Really?
hold your phone above
Anybody.
the person you want to kiss.
Randomly in the street.
Which I thought was kind of cool. Yeah, that'd be a funny YouTube video if anybody's game enough. Yeah. Okay, so that was mixed spice. But hey, the recipe will be up sometime if it's not already up. So we want to melt that. We want to melt that down, and we just want to get it so that the butter is melting and the sugar starts to melt as well, because we don't want big sugary lumps because that's not fun. So I'm just trying to spread that butter out. And right, now we can leave that just to melt for a minute because later on you will need to stir that, so you can't walk away from that. Let's make the body of our slice. So I've got 3 cups of rice bubbles. Now the original recipe called for 4 cups of rice bubbles. So it doesn't matter what you use in the terms of the size. You could use different sorts of cereals. You could mix rice bubbles with some slightly cut up Nutri-Grain or that Milo cereal. I've done it with that before. You could even try it with a muesli. I'm not sure. Give it a go. Have a look at what's left over in your pantry. But nothing like cornflakes or like Wheat Bix, that won't work. You actually need body to it. So 3 cups of rice bubbles. I've got 1 cup of Coco Pops. Now, use your home brands here. This is where you don't want to waste your money because essentially all your flavors are in the syrup. They're not in here. So we just want to stir that up. And the only reason I'm really using the chocolate rice bubbles is just for, well, it looks pretty and just to make my kids eat it more really. So we want our coconuts to go in there too. And we're just going to give that a stir because we actually end up pouring the syrup over this. And most of the coconut will fall to the bottom, but as long as it's sort of mixed up within reason.
Looks cool.
It does. Look at that. It's like snow. As long as it's not yellow snow, we're okay. Okay, so also to have is a, now this is one of my favorite cake tins, but any kind of tin or oven dish or anything, because you're going to be pouring hot sugar, so it's got to be able to be heated to a high temp. And I've just very lightly spray oiled that, but I love this because once it's cool, the slice, you can lift it out and make it easy to cut. I got that on the internet. Funny, good thing that. Right, let's go have a look at our butter. So guys, tell me.
So Raywin wants to know whether you could use maple syrup rather than honey.
Oh, yes you could. Let me think about it. Real maple syrup or the flavoured maple syrup? You possibly could use either. Hey, give it a go. It's the honey concept is more the flavour. Maple syrup with ginger. Yep, that works.
Is that you doing your
yeah,
mouth
that's me tasting.
Do that again. Yep, that's what it, okay, good,
yeah.
Well done.
No,
so
I'm going to say yes. However, I'm not a chef. I'm an at-home cook.
But you make yummy food.
But I make really nice yummy food. I don't see why it wouldn't work. Absolutely give it a go because it will just give you that extra
it's a different flavour.
It will be a different flavour. The honey does give it a really nice sort of kid-friendly flavour. But as I said, if your kids don't like honey, they're not going to like it. So use something, yeah, maple syrup, golden syrup, treacle, molasses.
Molasses.
I don't know. Give it a go. It won't stop it from working. It will just change the flavour.
Smells yummy. Like we often say, wish you had smell-o-vision. So I think
you just have to make it, and then you will know.
So we're essentially melting butter and sugar. So if it
butter and sugar and
oh.
Yum.
Yummy.
It's beginning to smell a lot like Christmas.
A
right.
special kind of
so I am now. As you can see, it's sort of runny. The sugar has nearly completely melted.
Raymond says, yes, the smacking of the lips will make me give it a go. Yep. Sorry. Anyway, carry on.
Oi.
Sorry, just chatting with people on the internet.
Yeah, I'm trying to cook here. Now, there is a trick to this. We need to bring this to a gentle simmer for 3 to 5 minutes. Now, if you want a softer bubble log, like those LCM sort of bars that the kids like, do it for 3 minutes. If you want a firmer log, like I have, which is better for kids taking to school, for school breakup parties, or a cake bake sale, anything like that, you want to do it hard. So you need to do it sort of for the 4 to 5 minute go. Although that is really tricky because you have to go fast at the end because it starts to set hard. But you can do it. I know you can. I can do it, so you can do it.
We have faith.
We have faith. So we're just wanting to bring that to the boil. Now it's really important, as much as I want to crank that up and get it going, to just let it get to sort of 2/3 of a heat. Because it will allow the sugar to melt properly. We don't want crunchy bits of sugar in our slice because essentially it is a slice. we do need to give that time. And then when it starts to come to the slow boil, make sure you do slowly stir it. You don't have to vigorously stir it, but just making sure that that sugar doesn't burn. You want to keep it moving round. It will also help it sort of get to the stage we need to quicker. So now we just turn. Now, while that's going, come over here. I've got a few things to show you. So you may have bought a Mrs. Rogers product recently that has this really dinky die little blue sticker. And you'll probably be wondering what the heck to do with it. Well, you get your phone and you open up Messenger.
Facebook Messenger.
Facebook Messenger.
There you go.
I learnt this today. And then you want to click on your camera. Let's see if I can do it. You hold the packet and then you go like that. Oh! And now I can ask Mrs. Rogers herself all about her herbs and spices. So guys, give it a go. Oh, look at that little sheep. He's really cute. Give it a go.
So you just type in the herb or spice
type
that
in
you
what
want
you want.
information on.
I'm going to type in kiwi roast.
And then it will spit back some information. Not literally spit it back, because that would be weird. About the particular product.
And now I've got, it's your lucky day. Learn all about Mrs. Rogers Kiwi Roast. So guys, give that a go. It's a really good thing to do if you are interested in a product in the supermarket and you're like, well, what can I use smoked paprika for? Do it in the supermarket and then it will give you some ideas. It's not doing recipes just yet, but it will give you all the information of what you can use it on, or you know, sort of the flavours that are in it and things like that. So
it'll link through to the website.
It will.
To recipes. So
now,
if you are looking for something.
It is boiling. So that is a brilliant thing.
There we go.
I want to put it on for 4 minutes because I don't want it too floppy, but I don't want it too hard either.
That's good.
Because with kids, you know, if it's too floppy, it's just gonna.
Well, you may
off.
have in-laws over that have teeth that fall out as well, so you've got to warn them. So anyone who is not allowed to eat minties,
don't eat this
because their fillings come
Actually,
out.
it's not bad if it's soft.
It's soft. Yep.
If you do the 3-minute boil.
Yep.
But as I say, if it's for a bake sale or the kids are taking it to school for a party or something, you kind of want to get closer to the 5-minute. Otherwise, it's just going to be a really nice sprinkle for on top of something.
Actually, speaking of bake sales, you posted that recipe the other day on how to make a really nice lolly log.
Oh, lolly cake, yeah.
Yeah, lolly cake, sorry.
Yep.
Did a heck of a lot of baking for a scout group.
Yep.
To raise funds.
Did.
So
I did.
And that went really well.
I did a lot of baking.
A lot of baking.
So that was yum. I'd actually, believe it or not, never ever made lolly cake before, or lolly log. So I was pretty impressed with myself.
And some of it even made it to the bake sale.
And majority of it made it to the bake sale. So using good old New Zealand fruit puffs, famous lolly. But you could use Eskimos.
Oh, that'd be all right. That would work.
They're just not as firm as fruit puffs. Fruit puffs tend to hold together better.
So what does everybody get? Are you still working? Are you looking forward to the kids coming home for the holidays, or wait back from school from the holidays? Because they haven't got long to go.
It is 33 days until Christmas.
33 days.
33 days.
That's not many days.
It's not many days.
No.
So guys, you could use whatever spices you like in here. Like
what have we got in there again?
So this is ginger and mixed spice, just because I'm doing the same as a gingerbread man.
That's right.
But you could just use a little bit of nutmeg. You could use just a little bit of allspice. You could, pretty much do whatever you wanted to.
Yeah, those bars that you talked about before, they're either chocolate or vanilla, and they've got lollies on them.
Yeah.
When I've snuck one, I've always found them actually to be relatively bland.
Yeah.
So they're
and
full of
really
just one
sweet
flavour.
with no
really
flavour.
Sweet, yeah, correct. Just sweet with no flavour. Whereas with this, you'll be able to create whatever flavour you want.
Exactly. Or no flavour. If your
If you
kids hate
plain,
spices, don't put spices in. Not that I'm encouraging that, but it's certainly a recipe that can be very adjustable.
Yep, it is. And yummy.
Okay.
Okay,
so we've got a minute left.
to go. So we're making this to be sort of medium density.
This will be medium density, and I won't be able to show you the finished product.
Well, not this one, but
not this one, but I have some.
You get a fair idea.
Yeah.
Get a fair idea. So with the price of butter at the moment, is there anything else you could use? Oh, Nicola, the price of butter. It is a shocker.
I know, but it's only 125 grams. I have never made it with a margarine. You could try that. I have a rule, I just don't cook.
Yeah.
If I can't afford butter.
What you could do is invite yourself over to someone's house for dinner, and then when they're not looking, grab the butter from their fridge and chuck it in your bag.
Yeah.
And then leave really quickly because it can go everywhere. Just saying, steal your friend's butter.
Yeah.
I think it is going to come to that with the price of butter. We're going to be at a stage where we're going to have a black market butter supply.
There will be.
That butter mountain that they used to talk about, that'll be long gone.
But listen, hey, I mean, you think of a box of LCMs and there's what, 6 bars in a box.
Yeah.
And I think it's around the $5 mark, unless it's on special. And you're going to get probably 4 times the amount for this. So
the short answer is
no.
Nicola, no, unfortunately.
Okay.
This is a full butter situation.
So as you can see, that's quite nice and caramelly.
It is. Now you're going to have to do the fast thing.
Guys, I have to go fast here. So here's your rice bubbles, and you just want to generally pour and scoop and pour and scoop and pour and scoop, and you have to get it all out. Now this is where I say if you have cooked it for that 5-minute mark, you're going to have to really move. But you can do it, it's all right.
You can do it.
You actually feel like you're getting nowhere. Oh, and you're flicking it everywhere like I am. I should have got a better bowl. And you just want to move it round, crunch it up, move it round, crunch it up.
So the coconut that was all on the bottom is actually starting to lift up and and go all the way through the bubble log. Oh.
Now, as I said, if your kids don't like coconut, don't do it.
Yeah.
Leave it out.
This is okay. We talked about smell-o-vision. This is not fair. Smelling this.
Since we're both trying to be really good at the moment, so that we can
have one little bit.
Wear togs.
I'm sure we can have one little bit. That smells so good. So you can feel, you can see it. You can see it starting to cover everywhere, can't you?
Yeah.
Like it didn't look like it at the beginning, but it's just really well coated.
It smells so yum.
Smells really good. I know that the coloured coconut is not necessarily coming out on the camera, but you can see it through there.
It's
so you've
just
got like this green,
little sprinkles.
Little sprinkles of like green and red.
Well, see, I didn't want it. You could actually put a colour in your, if you want it really red, you could actually put a colour in your sugar syrup.
Oh, you could. Yeah.
If you wanted a real colour, and take leave the chocolate in, because then you're going to get the different depths.
Yeah.
Okay, so you can see there I think it's pretty much all mixed. I'm just scooping up the bottom to see if there's any. Okay.
Oh, it smells, you can smell the coconut because it's on the hot as well.
Yeah. So this is where you want to just dip it out.
Yum. Get every last little bit out.
Just give it a rough sprinkle like that. And try and get it evenly spread.
And is it better in the square pan or a square
I do like
pan?
it in a square pan, but if you don't have one,
just go round.
It just means you're going to have some part of it sliced with a rounded edge. That's all.
Are you pushing it quite hard there, or is it relative?
Now,
here we go. Here's the trick.
This is my trick. So I haven't pushed it hard there, and use a glass because it makes it go so much.
Once you've finished your bourbon and Coke, or bourbon and Coke Zero, or no Coke and Sugar, or, whatever.
And now this is some Mrs. Rogers Stars from our party sprinkles.
You can find those in the baking aisle.
You will, and I'm just going to use some of these sprinkles as well because my children like sprinkles. And look at that, try and do it evenly.
Children actually like, we often find them with the Mrs. Rogers party sprinkles.
With the whole container.
Just eating them. So yeah, put them on the top shelf, not on the bottom shelf.
So now you want to be fairly firm with your pushing because not only are we pushing party sprinkles into the sugary mixture. Now you could even put the party sprinkles all the way through if you wanted to and void the coconut. God. However, I'm budget conscious.
I think on the top looks nice.
And on the top makes it similar to like one of those bubble logs. So
that's starting to set. It sounds like it's starting to set.
it's slowly starting to set. So you have a little bit of time to work, but this one is going to be softer than that one. And now you just want to make sure that it's all pushed down, and that's quite solid. And you want to make sure it's pushed down in the corners, and because there is so much butter in it, it means that it doesn't really stick, which is handy. Okay guys, so now you need to just put that aside. If you're in a rush, you can put it in the fridge, or just leave it on the bench with a towel over it so the flies don't eat it. And just wait for it to cool down completely, and what will happen is the sugar will start to solidify and hold it all together so that you'll be able to have a bar like that. If you need to, if you're doing a really hard version, you might need to cut it while it's still warm, or just use a serrated knife.
Oh, the things, this recipe doesn't have chili flakes, Cajun seasoning, fine Himalayan pink salt and smoked paprika in it, just in case you're wondering. That's because we were doing a discussion about Facebook Messenger before.
Yes.
So don't get confused.
So guys, I might be able to be slightly clever here.
Ooh, there we go. Wait a minute. Oh, look
And
at
show
that.
you. So once it's all cut, you can see what you probably get.
You get a fair amount of bars out
You
of that.
get a fair amount of bars. You get at least what? Oh, it depends how piggy you are. But yeah, you
Maybe
get
25, I reckon.
Oh, listen, you could go anywhere from 8 to 10. 10 would be about the same as a, oh no, I don't know. But you get a
some
lot.
bars.
You get some bars out of it, and it's thicker in my pan. It depends what pan you use it in, but that's thicker than a normal like LCM type bar. And that's
Well, you can
way
see
better.
You can see the little green and red.
The green and red.
So it makes it very Christmassy.
It does.
Well done.
Makes it very Christmassy. So guys, that's my family bubbles log recipe to your family. So make it, give it a go. Post a picture when you make it. Let me know what it looks like. I love to hear from you. And yeah, let me know what you do on top. If you use some sprinkles, you could use those little mini M&Ms and push them in. You could just leave it naked. It doesn't really need anything. But yeah, let me know. Have a go and send me a pic.
Redneck says, it looks yummy.
It is.
And he is right.
It
It smells
smells divine.
Excellent. I think
Very good. So happy Wednesday, everyone. Happy cooking. 33 days till Christmas. I'm going to be doing a lot of Christmas posting, a lot of Christmas ideas. Also a really good one for the kids next week to give to their friends. So keep in touch. See ya. Bye.
Thanks, Ray. Oh, Raywin says, thanks and have an awesome Christmas.
Thanks,
You
Ray.
too, Raywin. See ya.